there have been a couple of things in my greenhouse that I have been abandoning. Things that I've got to up pot today. Like, I can't make any more excuses. There are a couple of other things I need to be doing, but right now, why this is taking priority. This was full just a couple of days ago, and you see that it is getting so hot and these cells are small. These have been needing to be in bigger pots. This is my bee balm, and I have been putting it off to the point where I'm starting to actually lose some of my flowers because the roots are needing more space, and it is so hot that these cells are so small. It does not take much for them to dry out. With those beautiful roots at the bottom and these little cells are so small, it just does not take much for them to dry out. I need to get these in bigger pots. I noticed this really yesterday and I could not get to it yesterday, so I put everything else kind of on hold that I needed to finish up, because this, I'm losing my plant. So this is going to take priority. There are a couple of things. There are marigolds, bee balm. We're fixing to start up potting. Y'all heard me talk about before, start things from seed, it grows up, it has to go out. The cycle really never stops here. For this, a couple of these are going to go out, a couple of these are going to go in pots to stay in my greenhouse. Y'all saw me a couple of weeks ago plant my marshmallow. They are growing. They're sprouting. They look amazing. A couple of other things that have to go out today. These cucumbers are ready to go. I don't typically like to do transplant cucumbers. We typically direct sow those. But the place they're going, the soil was not ready. So I went ahead and started them in my greenhouse. Those have to go out as well. So I'm just gonna kind of be working in here. I told y'all it's really heating up in Mississippi, so it just does not take very long for these things to dry out. And at the expense of me losing them, it's just not worth it. So I've got to park it in here and we'll work a little while in here today. Get these things taken care of, because it is not worth my time to plant these things if I'm gonna turn around and let them die. So I have to freeze what's going on and get these babies taken care of. I will be taking these outside back in my shade because it is so hot. I still have somewhere to go this afternoon. I'm nasty and I'm literally sweating. So it feels so like 10 degrees difference right here in the shade. So I'm gonna work on this for a little while. Then I've got to get some garlic up, sweet potatoes in the ground. It's already like we're talking afternoon hours.
This again. Try me doing it again, Mom. I love it. You read my down. You read my down.
Yeah, now I know the time I've got, it is just enough to get by. Yeah, it is just enough to get by.
Got them moved in their forest, and they're going to clean all these woods up. This is the American guinea hog, the lard hogs. The commercial hogs are in the pig forest. Now we're making a secondary pig forest just for the lard hogs. You can see them right there.
This is a picnic table, and this entire table is full. Now this is actually just a fraction that we dug up today. We still have multiple beds that need to be dug up, but because we wanted to try to take care of this first, we knew this was going to take all afternoon. We went ahead and dug this up. We're gonna process all of this before we go get up the other. Now I wanted to show you something that we're doing. I kind of have a system of how we've been working. These are the ones, my really nice size garlics. These are just regular garlics. They're not anything special, but they grew off pretty nice. I will be drying these naturally for saving those cloves to replant next year. I bought last year to where I could plant a clove, grow it off, keep that bulb, split it off for the next season, and plant all of those cloves so that I will never have to buy garlic and onion again. That was kind of my goal. I bought enough to where I could plant, have enough for us to put back, because I keep some whole, whether they're freeze dried or dehydrated. I really like the freeze dry because they powder really nice. Most of those will be ground because of space. It's just really hard to store them when they're not ground into powder, and that's the way I like to cook them most of the time anyway. But I am going to be saving some to use whole for my fermented garlic and honey and things like that. But for the most part, most of these I'm cleaning up to process, to put in the freeze dryer dehydrator. We're gonna grind those down so that we can use those in the kitchen. Sometimes I put some of the garlic in capsules so that we can take daily. And some I'm keeping to save for next year so that we will not have to buy onions and garlic again. Some actually we're working with, I'm leaving a section in ground. I'm gonna let those go to seed and reseed themselves where they're at. Some I'm gonna collect the seeds, some I'm just gonna let seed and drop on the ground. So we're just doing a bunch of different things here with the garlic and onions. What we've got up right now, like I told y'all, most of them we're processing those. So a lot of busy work ahead, but it sure pays off in the kitchen knowing that I have my own garlic and onion that I have grown, and that I will not have to ever buy garlic and onion again because of the things that I'm doing right now. Implementing these is going to give me garlic and onions from here on out. What are you doing?
Making a mess. So we planted over about 1,000 onions and garlic, and these are bunching onions, so for each head it makes about 10 heads. These are native here, so we're trying these being they're native. But now we have a mess, and this is just I'd say 1/20th of what we've got to do.
We are saving the green onion tops. Those are some of our favorite things to eat, is the green onion tops. Now the garlic tops, I'm going to be tossing these to the sheep, the pigs, chickens, the rabbits. There's a lot of this. We're going to throw this in with those. But the green onion tops are staying here with us. They're going to be freeze dried. We love our Harvest Right freeze dryer. If y'all have any questions about that, let us know. We've been very pleased with the company, very pleased with the product. But we are going to freeze dry the green onion tops. Like I said, that's like one of our favorite things to eat because I season lots of meat with it. We also put it in our eggs. And you know, really this is what we like our farm to be all about. Not only growing food, but doing things with our food that will allow us to be sustainable, like making sure that we let things go to seed, store them properly so that they can regrow the next year, so that we are sustainable in all of those ways in order to provide for ourselves is to us equally as important of just growing our own food and having healthy and natural food, is making sure that we know what to do with the food to continue that cycle without being dependent upon always buying. We have had the baby bunnies for a week now, and I wanted to give y'all a quick update. They are doing great. I'm gonna show you now what they're nibbling on. That was sweet potato slips, just in case anybody is wondering. We got done with our garlic. This is a line of garlic. These are all bunching onions. This is one container here of the green onion tops. I have about the same amount over in the sink. I'm about to wash all of those off. So this is day 2 of garlic and onions. Once I get the tops washed, I'm gonna put them in my salad spinner. I believe it's either 8 or 10 trays. I don't remember exactly how many trays are in my dehydrator. I'm gonna put all of those that I can fit in my dehydrator. The ones that I already have in my freeze dryer, they're almost done. They lack just a little while. Then I'm gonna reload the freeze dryer and I'll get to the garlic and onions as I can. I want to go ahead and do the green onion tops first because they look okay, but I don't want them to start browning. And I know the garlic and onions will be fine if they sit over there and dry out. I just dropped one on the floor. So these are the ones that I already have over here, these 2 containers. This is a nice size container here. But I've got to get these. I'm going to put them in my big washing pan over in my sink. I'm going to put them in my salad spinner. And then they will go over here, dehydrator, and go on my trays. I'm gonna fill this thing up. I've got to take my eggshells out first. I'm gonna fill this thing up. We're gonna get those. Then we will get those put in. I have some big glass jars. I will put them in those big glass jars and they will go over into my pantry. I will not grind those down just because we like to take those out and cut those up and put on different meats in our eggs and stuff like that. So that is my afternoon chore, is to at least finish the green onion tops. We do have a graduation to be out tonight. Since I'm the director at that means I do have to be there. So our homeschool group's graduation is tonight. It starts at 6 o'clock. It is now currently 2:45. So I'm gonna work on these until I absolutely have to stop and get out of t-shirt and get into some real clothes and actually get dressed and go somewhere. So we're going to that as a family outing. Support our seniors tonight. Make sure everything with the program goes well there. And it's very exciting for our families who are graduating their students out into life. I know that they've been prepared well, and it's an honor to be a part of that and make sure that that program goes well. But until, we're going to continue to work on these garlic and onions until we get them all put up. This is my pantry here that has, this is garlic from last year. This is our onion from last year. So I literally just prep the things that we grow, put them in my spice cabinet, and we use those accordingly. This is my salad spinner, and one thing that I love about this is it just takes off the extra water from my products and puts it in under the basket where my products are, so that like when I take things and put in the dehydrator, it doesn't take as long to dry out because I've already spun some of the water off. Sometimes feels like nothing more than busy work, and I suppose I could look at it like that, but I have to remember that even though I'm doing all of this work and I feel like it takes me days, I have to remember it's gonna feed my family for a really long time. When it is a natural source of our own food that is packed full of nutrients, that has no process whatsoever. It's also free, and it will last us a long time. So I enjoy putting the work in, even though if you look at it like work, I suppose that's what you're gonna get is work. But it is a joy to know I can serve my family in this way and have so much food put up that is good quality food as well.